Hi, kids, and welcome to a Math Monday. We are starting a new chapter, and it's the chapter 11 on measurement. We actually kind of started it. We did one lesson, and then Mrs. Wint decided to rev it up and do something a little different. So we're going back to chapter 11, measurement, customary, and metric. And before we start, let's begin with a joke. So, my first joke for today is this. What is the difference between a guitar and a fish? You can tune a guitar, but you can't tune a fish. All right, that one wasn't funny, how about this one? What did the sink say to the potty? You look flushed. All right, let's get down to business. We're going to start with a little bit of vocab. I think it's very important for this chapter especially. And the first vocab term is centimeters. A centimeter is a metric unit. There's two types of units we're going to talk about, metric and customary. Customary is when we talk about inches and feet, yards, and metric is when we talk about meters, centimeters, millimeters, those type of words. In this particular chapter, we're going to talk about centimeters. And if you hold out your little pinky, hello, it's going to be the distance. A centimeter is about the distance of across for your pinky here. We're going to talk about the word estimate. And an estimate or estimate, when we estimate something, it's an about. It's like, I think it's about 5 inches, or that is about 4 feet. So we're going to learn how to do that. A foot is simply 12 inches. And so when you are talking about a foot, you're talking about a ruler. So this would be a foot. Inches. Well, an inch is going to be, this is what's going to use. I think this is probably the best way. An inch is going to be from this distance to the 1. So we've got from the line here to 1, that's 1 inch. On a ruler, you have 12 inches. The length of something is how I like to say L for length and L for how long something is. We measure things every day, and you'll do a lot of measuring this chapter. We've got meter. Now a meter, a yard is customary, and it would be 3 feet. And a meter is going to be a little bit longer. It's 100 centimeters. And here's an example of a yard, and this is showing 15 meters. All right, let's go. And again, we're going to bypass your lesson one's not even in your book. We're just going to take that away, and we're going right to lesson 2. You guys are so smart. You're going to go right to lesson 2. So we're going to start on page 651. On 651, it talks about feet and yards in this particular chapter or lesson. And we're showing a picture here of a gym. And with the gym, they're asking us to discuss each item, what could be measured with an inch ruler, draw an X on the objects that are too big to be measured with a ruler. So I'm going to take a look at my ruler here, and I need to find out which of those things could I measure, what would be best to measure with a ruler. And so I'm going to circle those objects. So take a look, and if I took a look here, I'm thinking some of the best things to use a ruler for would be, how about the clock? I'd probably just use a ruler for a clock. How about, the shoes? Probably just need a ruler for that. Basketball. Basketball would probably just be a ruler. It'd be something that I wouldn't need along. How about a basketball hoop, though? And the pole, well, that's probably going to take a yardstick. Because anything that would be, this is a lot, and that would take a lot to measure it. So I'm going to cross that one off. I'm not going to use a ruler for that. How about this window? Probably not. I would say no on the window. How about the door? Nope. We're going to measure that with something else too. The chair, kind of debatable. I think a chair you probably could use a ruler. You might have to use it probably twice. And the bleachers, I'm going to say more for, you could go either way. I think that this one I'm going to cross off and I'm going to circle it too. The exit sign, yeah, you can measure that with a ruler. So we've got our items there that we'd either measure with a ruler, or if I couldn't use a ruler, I'd use a yardstick. Now a yardstick is 3 rulers together. So that's going to be, and Mrs. Swint's going to have to try to do this the best she can. So if I had 3 rulers, I'm going to have a yard. So if I have 12 inches in one ruler, I'm going to have 24 inches in 2 rulers, 36 inches in 3 rulers. So there's 36 inches in 1 yard. Let's turn the page. On the next page, it's a guided practice. You can measure in feet or yards. A foot is equal to 12 inches. A yard is equal to 36 inches. Length, how long something is, can be measured in any direction. Generally, your measurement, the longer the measurement is considered length. They're showing a file cabinet here, and they're saying, well, this is about 1, 2, 3 feet. So you can write the number 3 here. Or we can say if it's about 3 feet, it would equal about 1 yard. Then we've got certain objects now that they want us to measure. Well, friends, this is the tricky part. Find a yardstick, find a ruler in your house. If you don't have a ruler and you don't have a yardstick, you can use a tape measure. I think what Mrs. Swint will do is if you need a tape measure, I will, how will I do this? Try to find a ruler, try to find a yardstick. Well, otherwise mom might have a tape measure or dad might have a tape measure. You could use that. What would they want us to do is to do some estimating and some measuring. So the first object here is a desk. Dad or mom might have a desk in their office. You might have a kitchen table. We could use that. And so go ahead and measure from the floor to the top with your ruler. The estimate you're going to give me is it about, it's probably going to be taller than 1 foot, maybe about 2 feet. Well, that's even, if it's a kid's desk, it might be 2 feet, or your little brother or sisters. Figure out, is it 2? Is it maybe 2.5 feet? Put your about right here. So if I think this is about 3 feet, first I'm going to look at it and I'm going to say, yeah, it's about 3 feet. Then I'm going to actually take the ruler to the desk and I'm going to measure it and I'm going to say, oh, well, goodness gracious, it was actually about 3.5 feet. On the next item, if you don't have a large desk or you've already used the large desk, use a kitchen table for this one. They're now saying how many yards would your kitchen table be? Well, the yard is 3 feet. So if, again, you're taking a look, that's about your kitchen table and it's 1 yard. Do the approximate and then do the, maybe it turned out to be about 1 yard. Let's just go ahead and go to the next page and see how what we've got here. All right. On the next page, we have got some other measurements. They want us to do this. They want you to find objects around the house, which this is going to be fun. You're going to go ahead and take a guess at, first of all, maybe your kitchen chair. About how many feet? So you're going to give it that look like, I think that kitchen chair from the bottom of those legs to the top of the chair, I'm going to guess it's about, I don't know, maybe that one is about 2.5 feet. And then you're going to actually take your ruler and you're going to measure it. These are all the first 1, 2, 3, 4 are all in feet, and the last one would be in yards. So this one's got a wobbly computer here today. So we're going to go ahead and do that. My friends, if you need to improvise because you don't have a particular item, that's fine. Go ahead and just tell me what you measured. So if this is a toy box you measured, can you just write toy box? If it's a bookshelf, let me know what it is if it's a bookshelf. If you don't have a file cabinet, no problem. Use a dresser maybe that you have clothes in. This looks like it's a book. Save the Earth. If that's a book, yeah, let's take a look, Mrs. Swint. I'm going to make mine a little bit bigger because if this is a book, I think it's silly that they're telling you yards. So Mrs. Swint is changing these directions, cross off, and put feet because you're not going to use, and unless my book's different than your book. So basically, what I am telling you to do today is this. I want you to go ahead and measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. I want you to measure, you can measure these items or any 5 items in your house, just as long as you've got some practice in measuring. Let's go to the next page. On the next page, we have some problem solving. The length of Sydney's tennis racket is 2 rulers long. How many feet long is Sydney's tennis racket? Well, we already said 2 rulers. 1 ruler equals 1 foot. So if I've got 2 rulers, it's simply going to be 2 feet. Gabriella is 2 inches taller than a yard. How many inches tall is Gabriella? Well, if you recall, we talked about how many, there were 12 inches in 1 ruler. If I add another 12 and another 12, that's my yard. 2, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3. But she's 2 inches taller. So I need to add a 2 to the 36. And you guys can do this because you know 6 plus 2 is right. And you know 3 plus nothing is all right. So you are going to write down the correct answer for number 9. Our brain builder. The pool at the park is 19 feet wide. How many yardsticks would it take to measure the width of that pool? All right, so we're going to do this. 19 feet. I like to do things I like pictures. Pictures are fun. So I know I could do 19 feet, and I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to draw 19 tally marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I have wrote 19 tally marks. Now with my 19 tally marks, that's representing the 19 feet. So I'm going to say, well, there's 3 feet in a yard, right? 1 foot, 2 foot, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to look at my question again. The question we're trying to find out is, how many yardsticks would it take to measure the width of that pool if it was 19 feet? Well, it would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I actually need 7 because what about that last foot? So I'm going to put 7. Your answer would be 7. How would I explain this? I would say I need 6 yards, and I can maybe even show a picture to explain it. And I would need a 7th yardstick for the last foot. On number 11, it's Josh used 10 yardsticks to measure the length of his basement. How many rulers would he have to use? Well, there we go again. Rulers are a foot. So I can go ahead and Mrs. Smith is going to draw some more pictures on the smart board here. We're getting some good use out of it. Then we need to dry it. So if I have 10 yardsticks, I know each yard is 3 feet. So I could do it in a lot of different ways. I could go ahead and count by tens. 10, 20, 30. Or I have my yardstick. Here's my first yardstick. Second yardstick. Third yardstick. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. 7, 8, 9, 10. Now they want to know how many feet. I simply have to count my tallies. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. All right. Got these 3 equal 9. 3 plus 3 we said was 6. Plus another 3 is 9. 3 plus 3 is 6. And 6 plus 3 is 9. And then we have the last little 3. Let's continue adding. 9 plus 9 is 18. 9 plus 3 is 12. 8 plus 2 is 10. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. It's not hard. Did it take a little bit of work? Oh, a little bit of work, not much. And I got the right answer. And you're an excellent mathematician, so you can do that. On your homework, let's take a look. Your homework will be 655 and 666. And it looks like here we're just doing an estimate of a book. And the second item is a swimming pool, which I'm sure every one of us have a swimming pool. Hopefully some of you do, but I'm sorry, Mrs. Wynn does not. So instead of a swimming pool, they just were looking for a large object. So I might say, why don't you go ahead and measure your couch? So that would be a better choice here. Measure your couch. That's fine. We do not need to run to your neighbor's swimming pool. Then they're saying, find the object, estimate the length, measure. If you have a mailbox, use a mailbox, a football, or any type of ball I'm okay with. And then you have your mom or dad's car. If you choose to select a different item, I'm okay with it. I just need to see that you're not telling me that this football is 5 feet, because that's about how tall Mrs. Swin is, and that'd be a really big football. Your brain builder, it says the sidewalk from Amelia's house to her driveway is 96 inches. How many feet long is that? Well, you have to figure out how many 12s are in 96. So it might be something where you put 96 tallies and start marking off groups of 12. Just a suggestion. Last but not least is circle the correct answer to a foot. Is a foot 3 yards, 12 inches, 36 inches, or 1 yard? Hopefully you got that by now. All right, kids, have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.